Hey, what up, guys? This is your former guy, Joshua from Hypreneur School, and welcome back to another video. And as you can see, I am all by myself today. I didn't invite Emmanuel today because he's a teacher by vocation and by profession. And if you already know our story, you know that Emmanuel's story is quite different from mine. And I'm more than sure that it's quite different from yours. And I really wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind lately, and that specific topic has to do with teachers in schools teaching foreign languages the wrong way. And I'm not talking about Emmanuel as a teacher because he's one of the good ones. Actually, 100% recommendable if you want to hire him. Actually, he's giving private classes and his students are getting exactly what they were looking for, So totally recommendable. But having said this disclaimer, I really want to bring this topic to the table from a student perspective. And perhaps, guys, you know that I learned English in my adulthood. And according to studies, children are 100% capable of learning a new foreign language, but adults, in the other hand, have a 95% failure rate when it comes to learning a new foreign language. But good news, the bottom line here is that I was able to pull that off, and I'm 100% sure that you will as well. So, nothing to be worried about. And actually, that's the reason why I'm here in front of you guys as a former adult student that didn't give up and learned the hard way what works and what doesn't. I do understand that what I'm saying is going to piss off a lot of tutors and teachers out there, so please, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here trying to make teachers and tutors look bad, because honestly, they're just teaching you what the schools are telling them to teach you. And by no means, I want to pretend that I'm better or even more knowledgeable than them. That's not the case. I'm just speaking a piece of my mind and letting you know what worked for me as a student. And perhaps, only perhaps, I can have this heart-to-heart conversation with you guys in terms of what could be the best tools when it comes to learning English, right? So this brings me to my first recommendation. Do not please compare yourself to other people. Please don't. When I read comments from people saying that they are getting frustrated because they want to be as knowledgeable and fluent as Emmanuel or other teachers out there, guys, that's the equivalent of me buying a soccer ball and pretend that I'm going to be as good as Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi over the night. That's just impossible. I mean, this means that you won't be able to learn English and have a proper command of the language? Of course not. And actually, you can take me as a good example. But Joshua, your accent sucks! Well, yeah, 100%. I totally agree. I totally side you on that. Nonetheless, I do not have these difficulties when it comes to having these beautiful conversations during the phone. I am able to get my ideas across perfectly. In addition to that, I am pulling over a lot of money in my current position. I actually have a dream job. And you have to remember and bear in mind that I learned English some years ago during my adulthood, meaning that I was able to break or pull this off against all odds. And that's the bottom line for me. So what I'm telling you is that you have to compete against yourself. Because if you compare yourself to Emmanuel, for instance, you will get frustrated, not shadow of a doubt, because the man is a machine. I always say that he's like a walking encyclopedia. But You have to bear in mind and remember that he had the opportunity to learn English at a very young age. So, as a result, my good friend is basically a native speaker. So, if you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, etc., it means that you are not only behind, but in disadvantage in terms of time and knowledge. And unfortunately, our brain doesn't work as good as it used to work when we were children or teenagers in terms of absorbing and digesting information. So the ugly truth here is that ship has sailed, but that doesn't mean that you cannot succeed in your dream. If I ran every single day, went to the gym, prepared myself, and played soccer all days, I won't become Lionel Messi, of course, but I will eventually get better and better and better, and most importantly, better than today. So I'm gonna perfect my own version. I promise you that if you practice and work on it, you will be better tomorrow than today. And if you keep it on, the day after tomorrow, you will be even better than today and tomorrow. That's the secret. But if you continue looking side to side, comparing yourself to others, well, you will get distracted from your main goal. Which brings me to my second recommendation. Do not get distracted and do not become a jumper, because as I always say, there's neither a magical potion nor a life hacker guru method that can take you to the next level. This is going to depend entirely on you. Patience is the key. You need to build enough vocabulary, and once you have enough experience, you will get the knack of it. Take a grinding game as an example. You can buy bundles and rank up your characters, get new champs, new tools, and weapons to level up your profile in the game. So you're practically deceiving yourself, because even if you have the best roster in the game, you are unable to pass the end game content because you don't have the skills to do it. So this will give you a false impression that you have one of the best in the game, when in reality, you're just a fat finger who doesn't know how to play the game properly. So no matter how thin you slice it, it's still baloney. So the same happens when people look for shortcuts, channels, or content they can understand properly, or people who offer the final solution to learn English in 90 days, which is laughable, of course. Pretty laughable. Okay, even if you're learning with a native speaker channel, if you're not learning anything new from them, it's not because you already know English 100%, and actually it's a waste of your time. And this is because they don't actually offer nothing new to learn. So it's time to make the leap. And that, of course, gives me the window I need to tell you the next advice. Turn the captions off. Do not resort to translations, subtitles, or captions. Joshua, but I heard that this is a good exercise and it actually has helped me a lot with my learning experience. Yeah, guys. But this exercise is good only for newbies, for beginners, not for you anymore. If you are able to understand the minimum here, it's time to take your English to the next level, or else you will be a wannabe Anglophone for good. Meaning that you will always be a student. So it's time for you to make the leap and change once and for all the studentship to try to actually become the Anglophone you want to be. Don't you think it's funny that you are able to read the captions and understand the whole movie 100%? But once you hear real conversations and full movies without captions, you're not able to understand anything? Well, that's simple to explain. It's because you have developed the reading skill by reading captions, but not the listening and speaking skills. If you have a friend, try this at home. If you have a friend And if you're talking to your friend, but your friend is reading or watching something from Facebook, do you really think that this friend is actually hearing and understanding something from your solo conversation? Of course not. Well, do the test and ask your friend, what do you think? Your friend is gonna react with a little hop first, and he or she will ask you, could you please repeat the whole question? Of course, because they were not paying attention to you. And that's because we as humans are only able to perform something good one at a time. I know that there are people who say that they can do 2 or 3 things at a time, but try to catch them on the hop with a simple question while they are doing only one thing of these things, and you will know for sure that what they say is a lie. Okay? Joshua, how come? How come I am able to read but not speak, or read but not listening? Guys, the verbs read, speak, and listen are not synonyms. Quite a surprise, right? No, guys, sarcasms and jokes aside, you have to understand and know your weaknesses. If one of them is the listening part, well, less captions and more eyes closed while trying to understand the conversation. And if you're lacking the speaking skill, well, it's time for you to speak more, even if you are alone. Joshua, but I don't have a partner. Guys, back in the day, I didn't have the internet. So what I used to do was pretend to be my own supervisor and ask me a question. Guys, we only need a question to start a conversation, right? That's it. And start talking, or in my case, I start explaining my whole process during the day. My question back in the day was, okay, Joshua, what did you do today? And I tried to explain myself everything I did during the day. And I realized that it was just impossible for me to describe what I did that specific day. So these are the things that you guys are actually try to develop and perfect. And what I did was, next thing I did was to find a proper answer for those things I didn't know how to explain. And of course, I was able to develop the listening, speaking, and reading skills that I actually have nowadays. As simple as that, guys. Well, I was about to tell you other things, but it's raining here, so I have to stop the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribe, smash the like button, and of course, we're gonna bring a lot of new content and videos. Guys, remember, do not compare yourself to other people. This is a cliche, but you are unique, okay? So guys, see you next time and keep it up. Thank you. Have a nice day.